Lesson 49, writing equations in slope-intercept form. So first off, what is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where the value of m is the slope of the line and the value of b is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, remember, is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So when x is 0, what is y? And then the solution of an equation in two variables is just an ordered pair or a set of ordered pairs that satisfies the equation. So you can see we have standard form right here, where your x and y are on one side equals c, and over here is slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So first we want to identify what's the slope and what's the intercept. The easiest thing is to make sure that your equation is in y equals mx plus b format. When it's in there, we can just identify the slope and the y-intercept easily from there, because the slope is always in front of the x term, and your y-intercept is always what are you having after the x term. So in this case, the slope would be 3, and the y-intercept would be at -4. Always use the sign that's in front. So now y equals 5x plus 7. The slope would be 5, and the y-intercept would be a positive 7. Next example, put in slope-intercept form first and then determine what the slope and intercept is. So use the golden rule of algebra. We need to get everything away from the 3y. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. And then I'm also going to add 9 to both sides, because I don't want that 9 there. So when I do that, I end up with 3y equals a -2x plus 9. And then our final step is to get y completely by itself, so I'm going to divide by 3. So divide both terms by 3. So my equation would be y equals a -2/3 x plus 3. Now we can identify our slope. So our slope is a -2/3, and our y-intercept is a positive 3. So it makes it easier if you put your x term first and then your y term when you go from standard form to y-intercept form. Next problem, do the same thing. So we're solving for y. So I'm going to subtract 6x and I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. And when I do that, I have -3y equals a -6x minus 3. To get y by itself, I divide by a -3. So make sure you divide everything by -3 so you know where to simplify. So now I have y equals positive 2x plus 1. Now I can find my slope. My slope is right here, so that's a positive 2. And my y-intercept is a positive 1. Next example, determine the slope and y-intercept of this line. So here, this is the slope, so 3. And then a -4 would be our y-intercept. And next one, y equals 0.7x minus 4.9. 0.7 is our slope. And then our y-intercept would be -4.9. And the last one here, -9x plus 3y equals 12. We need to put that in the slope-intercept form. So I'm going to add 9x to both sides. So now I have 3y equals 9x plus 12. So you notice I put the x term first. Then I divide by 3 on both sides. So y equals 3x plus 4. So our slope is 3. And our y-intercept is a positive 4. Now that we know how to write it into slope-intercept form, let's now graph the equation in slope-intercept form. So these two are done for us. But the easiest thing for here is you just need two things. First, the y-intercept. So we plot our y-intercept. Here in this first one, y equals 2/3 x. There is no plus b. Technically there is, it's just plus 0, but they don't put that in there. So the y-intercept is 0. So I'm going to put my first point at 0, 0. And then I use my slope. Remember, slope is rise over run. So I go up 2, 1, 2, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. And why do I go to the right? Because I have a positive slope. And positive slopes go up from right to left. So if you think of Mr. Slope Guy, when you have a line that goes up from left to right, you have a positive slope. When the line goes down from left to right, you have a negative slope. When you have a vertical line, you have it undefined. And when you have a horizontal line, the slope is 0. Let's look at the next one. 2x plus y equals 5. In order to graph this in slope-intercept form, we need to put it into slope-intercept form. So they subtracted 2x and subtracted a 5 on both sides. That's how they got y equals negative 2x minus 5. So the y-intercept is at negative 5, which is right here. And the slope is negative 2, which is really a negative 2 over 1. So rise over run. And so here they went down 2, 1, 2, to the right 1, because they needed to have their line going down from left to right. You could have went up 2, 1, 2, and then went 1 to the left, and you'd still form that same line. Let's try one ourselves here. Y equals 6x. There's really a plus 0. They didn't put that there, but you need to know that that's a plus 0. So that's where our y-intercept is, 0, 0. And then I have a slope of 6, which is really 6 over 1. So I'm going to go up 6. And since I have a positive slope, I need to go to the right 1. Or you could go down 6 to the left 1. And now I could draw my line, connect my points. My line is going up from left to right. Next one, 3y plus 5x plus 9 equals 0. I need to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 5x, subtract 9 on both sides. Now I have 3y equals negative 5x minus 9. Get y by itself, I divide by 3. So y equals a negative 5/3 x minus 3. Now to plot these, y-intercept first, so it's negative 3. And my slope is a negative 5/3. I can't go down 5, so I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since I have a negative slope, I go to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And typically I would go 3 points, but I can't do that on this graph because I don't have enough space. So I have enough, as long as I have 2, you can draw your line. The more points you do have, the more accurate your line would be. So again, I have a negative slope, so my line's got to go downward. Next one, graph 3/5 x. Y-intercept would be 0, 0. I have a positive slope, so up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I could go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I can draw my line. And there's my graph. And the next one here, graph this equation. So I need to subtract an x, add a 20 to both sides. Again, just making use of the skills that we've learned already this year. So negative 4y equals negative x plus 20. Get y by itself, divide by 4 by negative 4. So now I have y equals, remember there's a 1 in front of this x, that would be a positive 1/4 x minus 5. And it's a positive 1/4 because a negative divided by a negative is positive. It's a negative 5 because a positive divided by a negative is negative. So our y-intercept is at negative 5. And then I have a positive slope, so I go up 1 to the right 4. I could go down 1 to the left 4. I have my 3 points here. I can now draw my line. So if you're ever wondering, should I go up or down, it's all based on how you have your coordinate plane. If you don't have enough space to go down, then go up. If you don't have enough space to go up, then go down. And then to go to the right or left, it all depends on if you have a positive slope or a negative slope. Now here we need to write an equation of a line from a graph. So they created the graph for us. So again, we just need two things, the y-intercept and the slope. So we'll start off with y equals, the y-intercept is a -2. Now I need to find the slope. So I need to find another point that I know of. I know that one. So I went up 1 over 2. So up 1 over 2. I have a positive slope. So I have it's just plus 1/2. Next one, y equals, I have an x term. I'm going to look at my y-intercept, which is here. It's a +2. Pick another point that I know of. I know that this point here, I know what the coordinates is there. So I went down 1, 2, 3. And I went to the right 1. So you could have it as 3 over 1 or just put plane 3. I would just put plane 3 because that's how you're going to see it more often. And since I have a slope that's going downward, it's going to be a negative slope. Next one, start off with y equals our x term here. Slope is a positive, or the y-intercept is a +4, so I put +4. Pick another point. I'm going to use this one because I know what that is. And remember, our axes are counted by 2. So I went up 2 to the right 2. 2 divided by 2 is just 1, 1x. It's a positive slope. So I just have y equals 1x plus 4. Next one I have our x. The y-intercept will be here, which is a -2. My slope, I need to pick another point. I'm going to pick the x-intercept. So I went up 1, actually up 2. I went over 2, 4, 6. Went over 6. My line is going down, but we're not going to keep it as -2, 6 because I can reduce -2, 6. So really it's y equals a -1/3 x minus 2. Next one, write an equation of this line. Here I put points down there for you. So we have your y equals our x. Y-intercept is at 2. So plus 2. Our slope, I went up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So y equals 1/4 x plus 2. Next one here, y-intercept is right here. So y equals our x term minus 2. I'm going to go up 1, 2. to the left 1. It's going down, so it's a negative. So to write it properly, it would be y equals a negative 2x minus 2. Now let's look at some word problems. Let's solve the linear equation word problem. So we need to find the y-intercept and then the slope. Leah is helping prepare a budget for her family vacation. The family has decided to rent canoes for a day on the lake. The rental for a canoe is a flat fee of $25 flat fee plus $10 per hour. Write an equation in slope-intercept form to represent the situation and then graph it. So y is the total cost. The rate is $10 per hour. I'm going to use X for the hour. And then you have to pay the $25 fee. So that's what our equation is going to be, y equals 10x plus 25. So we go to our graph here. We can count by 5s as on our axes. So I need to go to positive 25. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 would be here. And I have 10 over 1. So I need to go up 10. But remember, we're counting by 5s. So 5, 10 over 1. These are going to be counting by 1s. So up 10 over 1 would be here. Or down 10 over 1. Now I can graph it. And just remember, these are just counting by 5s. Next one. Quinn's family will be renting a car on their vacation. The car rents for an initial fee of $50 plus 50 cents per mile. Write a linear equation in slope-intercept form to represent the situation and graph it. So y equals our x term and our b. So everybody's got to pay the initial fee of $50. And then it's 50 cents per mile. So 0.50x. There's our slope, that's our slope and our y-intercept. To graph it, we'll count by tens. Let's see. Yeah, let's count by tens. So we go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. These are going to count by, let's say, ones. So 1, 2, 3. This is -1, -2. Now if we have 0.5x, that's really, as a fraction, that's 1 over 2. And since we're counting by tens, this can be like 10 over 20. But maybe let's count these by tens as well. So if we count these by tens, so if we go down, we have a positive slope. So if let's go up 10, that means we got to go to the right 20. Up 10 to the right 20. We're down 10 to the left 20. You can see where our points are. This would be our graph. And the final one. Solve this problem. A health club offers several month-long classes. Club membership is $40 per month plus a $15 fee for each class taken. Write a linear equation in slope-intercept form to represent this situation. So we need an x term. Y is just the total cost. X is the number of months. So club membership is $40 per month plus a $15 fee for each class taken. So actually X would be the class, each individual class. So it's $15 per class plus the members have to pay a $40 monthly fee. So our equation would be y equals 15x plus 40. So that is our lesson on slope-intercept.